G'day folks, it's Mish here, and in today's video I've been given permission to detect this house site. I have no idea what I'll find today, but I'm excited to see what comes up. So without any further ado, let's grab the gear and let's go hunting. Well, hello there friends, how are we all doing today? I thought I'd better give you the grand tour before we start digging. So obviously you can see my metal detector there. I have got the Deus II out with me today. I think it's going to be the best detector for this site. I haven't detected here before, but generally speaking, house backyards can be a little bit on the trashy side. I think this will give me a good chance at picking apart targets in the ground, but look, it might surprise me. There might not be much to find at all. It's quite a narrow backyard. And I'm very grateful for the permission to detect here because it is in an older section of the town that it's in. So we do have potential for maybe some pre-decimal coins or something of the like. I can see there's been a path or maybe a driveway or something here as well. So who knows what we'll find. All right, let's get digging. My goodness, I've had a couple of swings and there are targets everywhere. One thing you may have already noticed in the previous clip is that there's a metal pole here. I can tell you right now that extends all the way across here. Absolutely deafening in my ears. I'm going to give you a bit of a listen. I'll just do a couple of sweeps over here. Probably hear a couple of iron grunts, but then that really loud pole there. But I found an interesting tone over here. Right about there. 87 doesn't seem overly large, so let's dig it up. Not entirely convinced that this one's out of the hole yet, but we'll get the pinpointer out. The gloves will be going on today because it is cold. But I can't resist. I've just got to get in there for the first target. Whoop, there it is. Oh, well, that was actually quite unexpected. Didn't think I'd be getting a buckle today, and yet here we are. My goodness, that explains the really big signal. That's cool. That is a really promising start. All right. That was it, so let's see what else we get. Nothing quite says a household backyard like a screaming 71 signal, followed by what appears to be the surround of a doorknob. Not at all surprised to find something like this in a backyard, but that's certainly got some age to it. So again, a promising sign of things to come. Gee, I hope for an old coin or two today. But let's keep going. Come and join me as I excavate this signal. So we are right near what used to be a little storage shed. And I can see a target down in here. Hopefully you can see it on the good camera. Give you a better look. Just here. So it kind of looks like it might be another buckle. But I figured you and I, we might find this out together. So let's pop it out. Gently, gently. Yep, I think that's exactly what we've got. Ooh, this one's got a rusted tongue on it. Hopefully we can just clang that dirt out a little bit. Look, I won't... Yeah. There was a tongue on it, but it's all rusted and falling apart. We'll get rid of that. But that's nonetheless a very cool little buckle. So that's buckle number 2 for the day, and we've only dug, what, 3, 4 targets, if you count the can that I may or may not have shown you. So that's pretty cool. I do like these house sites when I get a chance to do them. Let's see what's next. Now this one's interesting. I'm still right at the back gate of the property. And you can see some brickwork running along here. This has been a drain of some form. And I got a signal here Now probably about an 82, 83, there's actually a very similar signal just on the other side of the drain. And I can see something in here. I'm kind of wondering whether I've found a third buckle, to be fair. But just here, there's like a coppery, hopefully you can see that little line down the bottom there. Just not quite sure what it is. So let's find out together. Well, as you can see, friends, I actually needed to fully lift a brick out of the way. Now, yes, I've got permission to do this. Always check with the landowners before moving bits of infrastructure. However, it didn't pan out all that well. It's just some sort of bracket, I would say, maybe fitting like a downpipe to a building or something. I don't know. Anyway, explains the good signal. It was a big old ring of metal. And as I say, similar signal on the other side over there, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to take my time, put this brick back properly, and we'll see what else comes up. And just in case you were wondering about the signal on the other side of the brick, so I just pulled the bracket out of there, it was actually an old lid, I think. No? Maybe? Kind of looks rounded on both sides. Now I'm really confused. Okay, I thought that was an old jar lid, but maybe it still is. I'm not entirely certain. I'll give it a clean up. I'll show you a better photo. We'll see if we can maybe make sense of it together. That one's a little bit of a mystery item. Not a cartwheel penny though. Oh well. Is that really going to be a pull tab? You can't even escape them doing backyard hunts, guys. That's a pull tab, all right. We've definitely had our ups and downs in this yard so far. I've found a few bottle caps, pull tabs, that sort of thing, but we've had those couple of buckles, so there's still promise here. There's a signal here that's caught my eye in the open backyard area. Now let's have a listen together. Where are we? There we are. 88. Now it sounds like it could be slightly larger than a coin. I'm hoping it's not a can, but it doesn't sound that punchy. Nonetheless, we might give it a wide berth with the plug that we dig here. Now with the ground being so wet and muddy, yes, where we dig we're probably going to see a little bit of a seam of soil even after we fill the plug in. That's okay, guys. It is raining pretty much every single day here at the moment in the middle of winter. So that mucky kind of look, case example here, that'll actually be gone in a day or two. So it's all good. Well, this is a deep target. We may still have a bit of digging to do, bear with me. Oh, goodness me. You won't have seen it on that camera over there, but you'll certainly see it on my GoPro here. What on earth? Well, I can't say I really expected that. That has been some sort of fixture for, I don't know, a hanging hook or a... Gosh, I don't know, but it's really well made, so let's take it over to the good camera. Let's have a better look. Alright guys, feast your eyes on that. Wowza. Now, it's still got all its threading on there. We could very well reuse that if we wanted to. Made of a, I would say brass, maybe bronze, possibly brass. That is actually really cool. Now, if you have any idea what the original intention of this piece may have been, by all means, please drop me a comment. I absolutely love that. Alright, just a little target this time. You guys will get a better look on the camera there. Where are we? There we are. Let's have a listen as well. 86 sounds quite small. And when I say sounds large, sounds small, I suppose I'd better explain this a little bit. I have in a few videos, but basically if you swing the coil until you get a signal about there, just make a mental image, maybe it's a leaf or a particular blade of grass, as to where that signal started. Keep scanning until the signal stops, which for me is at the back of the coil here, so I know that the target's probably going to be less than an inch in length. And it's centered around about there. So I don't think we need to dig a massive plug on this occasion. We'll try and keep a little bit of the plug attached. Easier said than done with this type of soil, but that will help with the grass staying green. And our target is in the plug now. So now comes the fun part. Let's see if we can find it. It is right in the middle. So sometimes taking that bit of extra time to zigzag and work out where the target is can be helpful. Oh, what have we got there? Oh, we've got our first goldie, I think. Now, not made of gold. Don't get too excited. Ladies and gents, we've got a dollar coin. Have a better look over here. Fantastic. Always nice to get a little bit of coffee money. Now, we have been given permission to keep all finds today, but obviously if there's anything of particular interest to the landowner, well, we'll offer it up to them as well. Ringing in at a very jumpy 50s, 60s target, and there's still fragments in there somewhere. Struggling to find them in the soggy ground. What these are bits and pieces of an old harmonica reed plate. I can just see the little holes here where the reeds would have been attached. So we'll get them out of the ground. We're not really going to be able to preserve this one. But there's just little fragments everywhere, so this was obviously a very delicate harmonica. Oh my goodness. I won't keep you on for this whole excavation, but we'll get rid of what we can. See what's next. Well folks, we've moved across to a clothesline here. A very Aussie invention. The good old Hills hoist. This has probably been here 6-7 decades. And we've got a signal down here. Now this was an 85 and kind of a typical find to find under a clothesline. We've got the humble 1 cent piece. Now that's probably fallen out of a pants pocket while it's been hanging out to dry. And probably not the only coin we'll find in this particular spot. Got a very clear signal here. It's just a 51, that's quite a low signal on the DS2. And I'd be pretty highly confident at this point that we are onto a 5 cent piece. Hopefully not too far down. Ooh. It's in the plug. Oop, I think I might even see an imprint there. Maybe not. There it is. Nice. Oh, that is actually not an Australian 5 cent piece. That was unexpected. This one is a New Zealand 5 cent piece. So New Zealand coins and Australian coins, we do tend to mix them up a little bit. Don't see them too often, but the 20 cent, 10 cent, 5 cent pieces would often appear in our change. The thing about the 5-cent piece, however, is that New Zealand, I believe, have actually discontinued making these, so you cannot get this coin anymore. It's got a lizard on there as well. I'll put a better picture on the screen. That's a neat little find. Certainly didn't expect that today. Now, I always find it super interesting when you clear one target out of the way, in that case that New Zealand 5-cent piece, and all of a sudden another target makes itself apparent. In this particular case, an 86. Now, being that we are still under that clothesline, there is a very good chance that this is a Goldie. It's not the strongest signal in the world, so we'll dig a decent plug. And again, landowners not too stressed about the soil looking a little bit beaten up today. Oh, that was a good flip because it is in the plug. Let's see if we can find it. You let me know if you see it before I do. Whoop. Oh, I don't think it's Goldie. The signal sounded about right, but no, we've got ourselves another 1-cent piece. That's all right. Give you a better look over here. Ah, well. These things happen. But still, I hope if you're new to detecting that you're getting the idea to check under those clotheslines, or hills hoists, or whatever you call them wherever you live. Always a good spot to check. Well, folks, we've got a target here, and I think things are getting a little bit interesting. I haven't had a good look at this target, but I am intrigued. Let's have a listen to what it sounds like. 62, nice and stable on the dais. I've dug my plug, I've flipped it over. It's actually right on top here. You might not be able to quite see it on the good camera yet, but I think, let's get the glove off. Let's have a better look here, because I thought that was a coin initially. Nope, definitely not. We've got a ring of some form. Now, whether this is just a fitting for something, maybe it's got a thread on the inside, I haven't had a good look. I might just bring it up to my eyes for a moment. Oh, no, I definitely think it's a ring of some sort, but maybe a child's ring and maybe not a precious metal. But there's no thread on the inside that I can see. Now, if there is any further detail by way of writing on the inside or the like, I'll give you a bit more info on the screen. But that is a pretty cool find, and I'd say, once again, maybe fallen out of clothing. We're right on the edge of that clothesline. Very nice, guys. And I may have just broken it. Always be careful with rings that you dig out of the soil, folks. Anyway, I can now establish that it is just a copper-based ring. It won't have been precious, so probably just a kid's ring. Oops. Moving on. Oh, I've just had a little bit of a win on the pre-decimal front, guys. I dug this signal. Let me tell you what it sounded like. You may hear that distantly, however it was an 84 signal on the dais. Let me give you a closer look here. It is a bit corroded, unfortunately. This ground has not been kind to this coin, but I can see that that is a halfpenny. Super corroded. It is a kangaroo halfpenny. Now the year, whoops, is down here somewhere. I won't be able to get the year on site right now, but I'll pop it up on the screen if I can make it out, maybe show you a bit more of a cleaned up photo. So again, sadly that coin is toast. I won't be able to recover that one back to a pretty condition, but it's nice to know that there's some pre-decimals in the soil here. Awesome. Gosh, this is getting super interesting all of a sudden. The signals are getting better as I go. Let's have a listen to this one. Whoop, it's all the way over here. 92. That is quite a high signal. So ultimately my hope here is that we're onto the silver, and even if we're not, maybe a pre-decimal coin of some variant. Digging carefully now. Whee. Oh, I don't know if that's one signal or two at this point. What I'm hoping it's not is just like a 2-cent piece or something, but I think it's ringing up a little high for that. Well, look, I paused recording and I came back to you. I did a little bit more digging as I couldn't quite work out whether it was in the plug or not. It wasn't. It's down in here. I'm not sure how well you can see that rounded piece. So it doesn't appear to be a coin. It appears to be something larger. I did dig up a pocket watch recently, so careful, just in case. I don't think it is though. It's definitely round though. What on earth? Oh my goodness. Oh, hello Coffee Bush Kid if you're watching, because I have found a doorknob. Cool. Well, I hadn't had one of those yet, so that's always good. And I did get that doorknob surround early in the hunt, so maybe I've got a matching set. Decent little piece. Nice. Well, would you believe it? I may have just gotten another ring out of the ground, but this one I don't think was one that was worn on the hand. Slightly larger in size than the last one we found and completely rounded, so it hasn't got the flat inside that I would expect of a costume jewellery ring. So it probably had a more functional purpose. But anyway, I'm going to be careful with this one and maybe not break it for my wrap-up photo, huh? Well, we've moved over towards a garden bed now, and I got a signal here. It was very loud, but had some iron grunts framing the edges. 79, 80, thereabouts. And what I think I have found here, and it will need some cleaning up, is I think I may have found a little utility knife. And it looks like it's got a plastic, yeah, that's definitely what it's going to be. Some sort of plastic, maybe even bone outer. I think plastic. And I would say that the blades have well and truly rusted, giving it all this kind of lumpy, clumpy edge. But we'll give it a little bit of a clean up, see if we can get any information off it. It's kind of a fun find. Maybe it was used while gardening. Who knows? Have a little bit of a guess with me with this signal. So it sounds nice, it sounds really oddly shaped, and it might be one or two targets. I haven't quite worked that out. You're having a listen now. So it starts around where that little white bit of a leaf is there. 90s. Gets a bit louder and more defined there, but it jumps up to like 98, 99. Alright crew, I have spotted the target, and it is this. So we could say I've found a ring. It's not that special. It's obviously been screwed onto something. We've got an internal thread there, and you can see it's got some straight edges on the outside to make it easier to turn. But as for what it was on, not sure. But we'll get it out of the landowner's yard. It's one less bit of scrap metal that could come to the surface. We'll see what else it may have been hiding under there. Well guys, it's getting a little bit dark, a little bit gloomy, and I think I'll get a little bit wet if I hang around much longer, so we are going to call it a day here. I did find a handful of interesting things, and it was kind of nice to have a different kind of hunt to the usual. I don't do too many backyard hunts. Let me know if you enjoy this sort of hunting, and hopefully we'll get a few more opportunities in the future. So if you did enjoy it, please don't forget that like button, and in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you on my next adventure. Cheers guys.